Yeah. So we can start, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So myself is Srinivas. Okay.
Okay.
So you are able to hear me properly? Anything that
Yeah.
you...
Okay.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So myself is Srinivas. So I'm giving this SaaS training for the last 12 years almost. So I'm working on multiple technologies like SaaS, business objects, Tableau. But I'm giving major work experience in SaaS. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So what is a SaaS? So we'll give them some background about the SaaS and then we can start how we can learn the programming and we can explore the SaaS software and then start one by one.
Yeah.
So SaaS is an integrated system of software solutions. So it's nothing but it's not only one particular tool, one particular task that can do it. SaaS can do anything. Anything, nothing but you can create data, you can create the table, you can extract the data, you can export the data, extract it and export the data, like importing, exporting. And you can do analysis and you can do the reporting. So whatever the thing you want in the real time, in the real world, everything that you can do with the SaaS.
Okay.
Nothing but suppose we have the data in our Akira. So before that, do you know anything about the some computer knowledge, anything like? So are you computer?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what do you know majorly? So based on that, I can go ahead and we'll give you some examples in that manner.
Tech. Actually, I am a network engineer.
Okay.
So I'm a network engineer.
Okay, network engineer.
So many protocols and analysis are done through the computer, through the various tools like Wireshark or something.
What kind of tools?
Wireshark.
Okay, Wireshark. Okay, I don't know that. Yeah. But yeah, so but the SaaS is implementing in all over the domains, not only telecom or medical or whatever, healthcare, wherever you go, it's implementing. Okay, so it's not only one particular tool, one particular domain it's involved in. So whichever the technology, whichever the module, like let's take in a retail sector. So in retail sector, majorly the product, the SaaS will be used as a predictive modeling side. So to predict the future sales of the particular product. And let's come to the healthcare. In healthcare, majorly we use for the ad hoc reporting to get the reporting, what kind of data, extracting the data from the databases and reporting. And when it go to the pharmaceutical, like clinical trials. So in clinical trials, the SaaS is official software that can be used as FDA. So FDA, so Food Drug Administration of Authority, right? So that particular FDA is officially recognized as SaaS as a software. It means whatever the process, whatever the implement that you're doing, it will be you need to use a SaaS and create the data set and send it to the FDA like that. And that is one thing. And telecom side also and telecom side will also be using that. So it means it's implementing, it's using in all over the world for all over the domains. It's not in banking sector. It's majorly using to identify the risk factors of the particular customer, identify the credit score. So all the in domains in real time, whatever the product, whatever the domain, whatever the technology, so that we can do it here. So, because SaaS is a number one software for analysis side. Analysis, so like it's a statistical analysis, predictive analysis, time series, whatever the analysis that you want to do it. It's easy. You can write the programming. You can expect very accurate results compared to none other thing. Because and the language, it's a simple one. If you have some minimum knowledge in computer, like, that can be written in the program in such a way that like it's simply you can write those things. Okay, and that is programming is easy, and even without writing the programs also we can do the drag and drop. GUI methodology is there. It means depending upon your environment, depending upon your data, the software can be enhanced it and you can use it more and you can use less. Whatever the budget, whatever the data. Suppose if you have Oracle data, so you don't need a very big software like advanced version of the software. It's the minimum software is required. So if you don't have, suppose in retail sector, If the data is the data will be very huge. Every day the transactions and product store stands details. So then that can mean there's a advanced version software is required. So depending upon the requirement, so they will. So once again, one more thing is like, suppose you have you need some task. This particular task, this software is enough for you. Then you can purchase
Okay.
that particular software. So for retail,
Yeah.
some other product for some other purpose. Suppose let's go to the retail sector is one product. For clinical side, so normal base charge is required. There is no need to do advanced versions of software. But in retail sector,
Oh.
advanced version is required. So for advanced version, you have to purchase more licenses. So for smaller
Mhm.
clinical, you don't need to purchase license like advanced version. Basic is required. So depending upon your
Mm.
requirement, depending upon your data, you can add some additional functionality, additional SaaS modules to the particular product.
Mhm.
So means there are around 60 to 70 modules are there. So there are few common modules required, around 5 to 10. So these are the minimum modules required. After that, so whichever the module is suitable for you, you accordingly you can purchase that particular license and you can use it.
Oh, okay.
It's not only one particular tool for to be used for everybody. Okay, so let's see
Mhm.
this. SaaS is an integrated system of software solutions
Mm.
that enables you to perform these are the tasks. First one is
Yeah.
data access. So data access nothing but accessing the data from databases wise, non-database wise, normal SaaS, whatever means data can be in any other form,
Mhm.
right? So because it's in the form of text file, in the form of Excel file, whatever the format is there,
Yeah.
by using the SaaS, you can extract that particular data.
Okay.
So in the form of text file, so you can extract the data and create the SaaS data set. If the data is
Mhm.
in Oracle database, Teradata, or Hive, Big Data, Hadoop database, so whatever the database is there, irrespective of the database, by using the SaaS, you can extract the data and keep it to the SaaS into the local machine. It means into the local SaaS system.
Mhm.
Okay. And once you extract the
Yeah.
data, so then you can management like right. So what exactly the management? So let's take that. So you have the data, right? So
Yeah.
so if let's take in a retail sector. So are you familiar with the retail or network? Which one is your okay? My question is like
I'm good.
you're good with the retail sector examples, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So in a retail sector, what exactly will do? So there is some products out there, and each store details, product details, customer details, their bank details, some credit card information, debit card information they are storing, right? So these information will be stored in different tables, different data sets. So
Mhm.
whenever you are storing the data into the different sector, but what will happen in the client if the client or some business persons they requested some report. This report is for the multiple tables information. So it means the data will be merged in that case. It means managing the data. So whenever you're creating the data set, whenever you're extracting the data, the information will be stored in the multiple tables. But when it comes to the reporting side, you may require to combine all the data based on some customer wise, product wise, different based on the requirement wise. So they want to know that what is the total sales of the particular product in each sector wise in each state, each store wise in each state. In those cases, what happen? You may require sales information, product information, store information, all the informations, right? In those cases, you
Mhm.
need to merge that information, right? So in that case, you need to merge that and you have to create a one data set file. Then you can send the report. So this we call as a data management. So in the data management will comes under the data cleansing, data modification, data recreation, so like data scrubbing. So different kind of data that we can have, the actions can be do that for that particular data. So these are all comes under the data management.
Mhm.
Because if you store the data in a required format, then only you can able to produce the required output. If you are not created, then some information missing, some additional information coming like that. And next, data analysis. See, you have the data. right? Now the
Yeah.
analysis part. So what exactly analysis? What is exactly the business requirement? Because accordingly we have to do the analysis. So what is the average sales of the particular product in each store wise? So that is my analysis. In this case, what happened? You have to get the information from the databases like store information and along with the sales information and date wise. So what each month wise, how many store is there? Each weekly average sales volume of each product of the store. So it means you may need to apply some SAS techniques to get that particular results in a fast manner, right? So because to get the information in a fast manner, then only you can able to produce the reports to the client within quickly period. So with accurate results. Because you suppose to get the information, if you take the 2 days, it's not it doesn't matter, right? It's not good to you to get the report, right? In those cases, you have to use minimize. You have to minimize the coding and maximize the output in a fast manner. And presentation is also important. So once the data analysis, once the data reporting is done, the final part is presentation, right? So you have the data and you got the extracted the data and created the report. And in a required format, like I want to see in Excel format this particular report. Suppose if you're not created the report in Excel formats, everybody cannot be don't know about that SAS, right? Because Excel, these text, some common tools are common softwares are there. If you provide the report in that particular format, everybody able to can see that, everybody able to open it. Because if for every laptop with MS Office is there. So in the form of PDF files, in the form of Excel files, different depending upon the data for a requirement, we can produce a report in that particular format. So SAS can also be used to produce a report in a different format, like in a PDF format, in Excel format, in Excel XML format. Whatever the format they requested, we can able to do that. Okay.
Okay.
So this is a majorly used in a SAS. So these are because other than these thing four, do you think any other thing that we require to do that? Because right, other than these four modules, four type of things, are you going? It means do you see any other thing is required in the real world?
No.
Because whatever you are doing in an IT sector, it should be doing any of these category, right? Suppose if you are web front end. Suppose if you have the Java application. Suppose if you are running something in the back front end, some site is opening. It means that need to be run in the back end some server. It means some access is required. Username, product, passwords. That can also be managed in here. So it means everything that you can do here. So web report, there is a concept called SAS web reporting is there. It means by using the web reporting local host or something like that, you can extract the data and create the reports. So it means drag and drop kind of thing. You don't need to write any coding. But if you know the coding, then you can easily debug the output why it's not getting. But because whatever you are doing in the front end, back end also it will be generated some code. So some program it will be automatically generated, some program already written manually, and we are executing like that depending upon the requirement. If it's a complex, you may have to write the programming and do that. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So SAS is not a specific tool. It will be used in one particular environment, operating system. So SAS can be used in a Windows. SAS can also be used in a Microsoft Unix environment. So and mainframe. So because if it can be accessed in a multiple operating systems, it's not a specific to one particular operating. But even though if it's changing the operating system, doesn't mean that the programming will be different. Means if you even though if you are different environment, the SAS script will be same. Very small, very small, minor changes required because the file system will be different. The path, like those kind of things. But environment wise, the programming wise, it's same for both Unix and Windows or mainframes. Okay, so that's what SAS, because here we are mainly using SAS Windows environment, and we can use non-interactive and batch. So now let's see what exactly how the loop environments, how the software will look like, what exactly you will do in Windows. So here, to access the software, I can provide you some document. You can follow the document and create a one profile in SAS.com.
Mm-hmm.
So, sorry for that. So
Yeah.
there is a in SAS there is a on-demand version is there. It's a free software. Means you don't need to install anything in your laptop. Just create your username and profile, username and password. Once you log in that,
Mm-hmm.
then you can practice everything.
Oh.
It's for every user, every student they are giving free access. So you can practice there, you can everything you can do that. So how I am using that, you can use the same as it. Like we don't need to install any software. So initially we have some
Oh.
we may have required to install the software, but nowadays last couple of years back they created some on-demand version. So just your username and password. So I can provide the documentation with the screenshots,
Mm-hmm.
and you can follow that method and you can access the software. If any questions are there,
Yeah.
we'll meet next week, means next class, and I'll show you that how you
Mm-hmm.
can access and how you can do that. Because initially we have some torrent of files, I'll share it and you have to laptop install. Now every time it's expiring the password and again do that. But now it's easy. Everything, whatever you can do that. Just internet is required. Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
So this is about how the software will look like when you are going to use SAS on Windows environment.
Mm-hmm.
SAS on Windows environment.
Okay.
Okay. So there are
Mhm.
5 different tabs at the bottom you can see. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So these 5 tabs will do the major things. So out of whatever you are doing, will do only out of these 5 tabs. I will explain one by one each and every tab, and let's see.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll go to the
Okay.
from left to right. So for first one is editor tab. Editor. So editor
Yeah.
nothing but it's simply the program where you are writing the SAS scripts. So suppose you are writing something code that need to be written in the editor window. Okay. So the
Yeah.
programs will
Okay.
be saved in the .sas format. Like for text
Oh.
files .txt, for Excel files .xls, xlx, like that, right? But all the
Yeah.
SAS programs will be saved in a .sas. So you can open that particular file as a text, as a text notepad or whatever, but you cannot open as a Excel like that. So if you open the file in text format, it will open it, because end of the day it's a text file simply. And if you want to execute the program, you have to open the SAS and execute it. But if you go in the text file, you cannot open it. Because if you don't have if the file doesn't have any extension with the .sas, it will not be executed. It should be an extension with the SAS. Okay, the file need to be saved.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever the file that it's saving, it writing will be executed, and it will generate some log file. Suppose you have written some 10 lines of code. When you execute that particular 10 lines of code, it will give us some log file, log information. Nothing but whatever the functionality that you are doing, it will be resolved in the back end and will be shown in the front end. What exactly it's doing. Like let me show you that now. So let's see this.
Yeah.
Simple one. Here you can see some information, right? So
Mhm.
when you open the SAS backend, there is some program is executing automatically. What exactly it will do? It will check your license version. Nothing but if you check your expiry of the license. If the license is validated, then only it will be open. If it's expired, then we have to update the license. You have to renew the license. Okay, so that part will be executed here. It means the program is executing it, validating the license, and if the success, then only you will see it will open. If it's not success, it will not open, and that kind of information it's displaying that. So copyright, see 2020 SAS Corporation, property of software 2. This is the license by this one. This license is executed in this one. It's a SAS installation used. It means SAS particular script as installation script has been used and it took that much time. Similarly, if I'm writing some dummy program, so this is some small 3 lines of code. I'm executing this. See, this is the 3 lines of code. It's executed. The data set work.x has one observation and one variable. It means it's created one data set in work location with the data set name called x, and it has one observation, one variable, nothing but one row, one column. So this is the data step is used. Data statement is used. This is kind of information displaying that. So why this particular information is useful, right? Because if you did any mistake in the program, if you see any errors in the any by mistake you have written something wrong, it will throw an error in the back end. So that information will be displayed in the log file. It will check the syntax and it will check the proper roles and everything. If it's success, then whatever the result that you are expecting, you will get it. If it's not success, if any errors are there, that error information will be stored. See, I'm getting the error message. It means I did some mistake. I did something wrong in the code. So then it's showing that one. So it won't see the output. You won't get the output. See, previously you got the output, nothing errors. Now you see the error message. It means something wrong here. Okay. So this is the log information, log file. So when you save this log, the information will be saved in the .log file. The file will be saved in the form of .log. So the next one is output. So now you see that you have executed, you have written some program and it executed, it has no errors. Sometime what happened, the program will provide us some output, right? So you have written the program, you are expecting some output. That output will be displayed in the output file format. Will be shown in the output, which will be wait. So now if you are, let's take the simple example. You have the class. In a class, you want to identify the maximum age of the particular student. That information I need to see in the output file. So it means you can get the results, but it will be stored in the form of data set. But I don't want to see any data set, but I want to display that information in the output file. Because I can save that output file and I can share it directly with them. Somebody want it. And if you have the data set, if the information in the data set, you cannot share the data set, right? Again, you have to export it, something like that. Because if you create the data set, if you send the data set to somebody, nobody can able to open it until and unless if the particular person has a software installed in their machines. So sometime maybe we may require to save the report results in output file format, specific output file. So there are some programs that can be written to see the outputs. See. See. Now I created the data set. It has one observation, that is X, and the value is 10. Is that clear?
Yeah.
So these are the three main important. So now I'll show you that. So that .sas is a SAS program. .log is a log file. .lst is the output file. These are the three extensions for the data set for the SAS program. And yeah, go ahead.
No.
Now, if you see this is the data set, right? So this particular data set has some extension. The extension is SAS 7B D85 data file. 7th version that seventh flag, so that file. Okay, so these are the four things that you have to remember, that whenever you see that this kind of extension, nothing but it's related to the SAS. Now there are other two tabs, right? So results and explorer. So these are majorly used to navigate your file and output from one location. You can just navigate your output files and to directly navigate to the particular output and see the output tables. That can be just file management, output management kind of thing. The Explorer tab will be majorly used to manage your data set, to see the data set on which particular location where exactly is there. So nothing but simple example is, so the common example, in a laptop you will have different folders, right? For different softwares, different folders. And in the other example is like different languages, different movies and songs, different kind of folders will create it, or and to separate it and keep it separately, and whenever we require directly we go that particular folder and open it. Similarly here in SAS also, if you connect the multiple databases, suppose there are 5 databases are there, one is Oracle, one is Teradata, one is DB2, different databases are there. To connect it to access all the 5 databases at a time means you can do that. How you can connect it means, for the particular database you will give some name and that name will appear here, it will connect with the name, means that particular database information will be stored in that data table in the particular folder. Whenever we want it, we want to see the data in the particular folder, then it's open it, like that kind of thing. It means simply the information will be storing in the form of some folders, and we'll give the folder, for each and every folder we'll give some name. For the particular name we called as a library name. That folder is the folders what we are calling as a libraries. Okay, it means all the SAS data sets, SAS data will be stored in the form of data set, and these data set will be stored in the libraries. Okay, again these libraries, if it's a database, the library will be assigned to the particular database. If it's a local, it means you are not connected to any database, it means it will be stored in the your local laptop only, local PC. So let's take this one. So this is a work location. If you see the right click properties, that in that particular whatever the data set that you're storing, that information will be stored in the form of local system, in the local system some folder wise. Let's see this, C folder, it's my local name. Under this location, if you go there, you can see this particular data set. This particular data set will be stored under this location. Okay, so because it's a temporary, your local laptop, local PC. But if you're database wise, it's stored in the database. Okay, so this is about the data set navigation, and the next one is results, means output files. You are generating some output. That output files will directly want to see that navigation of the output. It means, see, just now we displayed the output, right? So if you go there and double click there, it will give the information of the particular. Like this, you can create a number of outputs. Whichever output you wanted, directly you can click there, it will go to that particular output location. So these are the major 5 tabs. So that information, we have that information in the detailed information in the documentation. See, right? The SAS programs contain information about the processing of the law SAS program, including warnings and error messages. Okay.
Yeah.
Detailed information, what log contains, what output contains, what explorer contains. Now let's come to the libraries part here. So now just now we see the library is nothing but a folders in an outside wall, outside the SAS. If you see the laptop means folder. Folder means, so you are giving some name. So that particular folders, in when it comes to the SAS, we call as the libraries, and each and every library will store with give some name. Okay. So there are two different type of libraries here. One is permanent libraries, temporary assembly. So what exactly the definition of the SAS library is? A collection of SAS files that are stored, that are recognized and stored and recognized by the SAS. So this is the definition. Okay. So now functionally, this is a definition. We can go through that. So how to run the program? Let's see this now. First of all, what exactly the program? Let's see. Let's see that here we already have the libraries information, right? So first library, SAS data libraries. So the SAS data libraries are two types: permanent libraries and temporary libraries. What is meant by permanently? What is meant by temporary? So do you know meaning? Do you know anything about, anybody knows about what is meant by temporary files?
It's just like a cache.
Exactly. So it will be like a cache. It will be stored the information temporarily in the backend. Once you will shut down the laptop, everything will be closed, right? Cleared backend.
Yeah.
Similarly in SAS also, it will because there is a one library called work library. It's a temporary. So until the SAS session is active, the library will be active. It will be kept the data in there. Once you close the SAS, once you kill the SAS, once you come out of the SAS, then whatever the information in the particular library or folder will be deleted and will be fresh, because but the backend all the files will be deleted. So that is called as a temporary. Then we call as a work library. The name of the library is work because it automatically created. You don't need to create it. It automatically created when you open the SAS. The next one is a SAS user. If you see here, two libraries in the Explorer, work and SAS user. So these are the SAS users, the permanent library. So you can see the location where exactly the data. See my temporary in this particular location, the data set will be stored. See my documents folder. In a work location, the location of the work is temporary. See, app local temp SAS temporary files. The folder itself is there. So under this file, everything will be deleted. But whatever the information that you have stored here, it will be stored permanently. So nothing but the information is storing in your local PC. If you're storing in a particular folder, means the data is keeping there. Once you delete it manually, then only it will be deleted. That is called as permanent library. So you can create your own libraries or you can use existing libraries that are created. It's not mandated to use existing one. You can create, because SAS has allocated one particular location, all the data will be stored it. But I don't want to store the data in that particular location. For security reasons, I want to store in a different location. So in that case, you can create one library and assign it to a particular library and store it. So what I'm saying, you're getting right?
Yes.
Because the data, we are discussing about the libraries, nothing but storing the data in the form of folders. Okay. So these folders are two types: temporary folder and permanent folder. So the temporary folders, these two folders automatically created. So whenever I'm saying the folder, means you think as a library. Okay. The libraries will be created. These are the two libraries, temporary and permanent. These are automatically created when you open the SAS. If you want, you can create your own folder, but the folder name can be different in a different location, or whatever the location you want it. Okay, so this discussing about the libraries, and we'll discuss in coming classes. But now we'll discuss what exactly the basic SAS, how the program will start, how it will look like. So what is the SAS program? SAS program or SAS script, whatever we calling, it's a program. So a SAS program or a SAS script is a sequence of steps. So So that uses for submission, uses submission for execution. Does anybody remember about the C language?
Yes.
C programming. It means you're following some methodology, and once you're writing the program, you will compile it. If it's success, then execution will start, right?
Yeah.
Similarly, in SAS also, whatever the statement that you're writing, you have to write it in a specific manner, and then once the program is completed, then you can go for submission for execution. Same methodology we also find, because the basic foundation for the SAS programming is C only. Okay, so here
Yeah.
the sequence of steps we are calling, called as a SAS program. Okay, a SAS data set is a structured file that contains a data value. C means we are storing the data. How we'll store the data? In the form of rows and columns, right?
Yeah.
So that particular file we called as a data set. You got what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A data set nothing but a structured file. It contains the rows and columns. So we'll discuss about the data set, like how the information is storing, what exactly the length and everything. Now it's a data set in a structured file, okay? And the data steps are used to create the data sets. So majorly we have two steps here: proc step and data step. A data step is nothing but the name itself is creating the data. Creating the data, how you will create it? There are multiple methodologies. You can extract the data, you can create your own, you can enter the data within the program and create the data set, and you can extract the data from the local laptop, local folder. So multiple ways, right? So you extract to create the data set. So whenever you're creating the data, we use the data step only. Okay. And the next one is proc step. Proc nothing but procedure. So something you want to do, suppose you are doing something, it means you need to follow some procedure, right? Let's take the data. Let's take a simple example. I want to calculate the total sales of the particular product. How you will know that total sales? It means first you need to have the data, and you need to apply this total. It means you need to apply the sum function, and you will get the total sales, and we can show that, right? So these are some couple of steps that you may involve to get the results. Similarly, the procs nothing but procedure. So all these three steps will be given some name and get the output directly. You don't need to write all that multiple steps in the procedures. Suppose if you want to see the mean nothing but average, just simply write proc means what particular variable, then automatically you will get the average of the particular product. Okay. Are you following, or any questions here?
Yeah, I'm getting it.
Okay.
So these are the two steps you have to remember, that because right now in the first class maybe something boring because it's theoretical wise. From tomorrow onwards, what we'll do is we'll write the programming one by one, and I'll take with examples and we'll show you that and we'll execute it. So it's not like only theoretical class. It's not only theoretical classes, theory plus practical kind of thing.
Okay.
So the first class is majorly the theoretical wise. You just need to know the history and how it will be like that. Okay. So this data step is now whenever anybody calling data step, nothing but simply creating the data, storing the data, not doing any analysis, not doing anything, just simply storing the data, extracting and creating into some system, creating the data set. That's it. Whenever you say proc step means whatever the data set that you have created, we will use those data set and we'll process it. What kind of process? First thing is, let's take the mean. Nothing but we are calculating as mean. Means you are doing some process. Next was sort. Sorting means there may be sorting in ascending order or descending order in a particular column. Then how you can sort it? By using this sort procedure. proc sort. Means when you apply that proc sort to the dataset, automatically the dataset will be sorted based on the column wise, whatever you mentioned. So proc print, just now we saw that. Means printing the data. Print means print the data. Which dataset you want to print it? Specify the dataset name. Within the dataset, what columns you want to print it? We can specify those columns. That means whatever the purpose that you are using, whatever the purpose is there, we have some procedure. If you use that particular procedure, the output will be very fast and you will get accurate results. Because the software it's developed like that. It backend its functionality, everything has been set up. Okay.
Yep.
Now there are some SAS statements, right? So we call it as a SAS code sequence of steps. So what are those statements? So whenever let's take some examples in English. Whenever you're writing a program, you need to have follow some steps, some methodology. It means you have to end with the statement ends with the dot period, and for a couple of lines you have to create the paragraphs, and after paragraphs you have pages. Like one by one we'll start it. Some rules. Similarly in SAS also there are some rules. Whenever you're writing the program, you need to follow certain rules. So those rules nothing but will be used as a SAS statement rules. Okay. So SAS statements start with a keyword. Whatever the statement that you are writing, that statement will write with some keyword. So that keyword may be data step or proc step or maybe some other some step different words is there, so we can use it. But majorly, every time whenever writing the program, 90% will use only these two, data and proc initially. Okay. All the SAS statements ends with a semicolon. Whatever the statement that you are writing, that particular statement need to be ended with a semicolon. If you don't write the semicolon, it means SAS will consider the number of lines as a one statement only. If you're writing some statement, it's in like 5 lines, all the 5 lines will be considered as a one statement. If you put the semicolon, means that particular statement has ended and it will write the new one. Okay. And SAS statements are free format. Nothing but either you can write uppercase or you can write the lowercase, whatever it may. Either you can write uppercase and lowercase. Everything will be considered as a lowercase or uppercase. It will be considered as some case. It's not like it's not a case sensitive. It's a free format. Okay. So one or more blanks for special character can be used as a separate words. So when you're writing the English paragraph, you will use some words, and in between the words we'll use the spaces, right? Similarly here also, whenever you're writing a SAS statements, you need to use the spaces and data space some word, proc space some word. So it means the words can be separated by spaces, and we'll use a combination of the words and will be considered as a statement, and each statement ends with a semicolon. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're not following, just let me know anytime. I can repeat one more time. But you need to understand these are the basic rules initially. Basic thing you need to know that. Right? Okay. If you are not clear, then again I will repeat one more time, because these are the basic things you need to understand initially. Because once you go into that, so because silly mistakes will be do with these these statements when you are writing. The silly mistakes will do that. So if you are clear with the basic knowledge, then you don't do that silly mistakes. Because normally what happens, will miss a semicolon. Semicolon, to miss a semicolon means if you're writing 100 lines of program, you miss a semicolon, then you have to identify where exactly I did the wrong thing. Okay. And whenever you're writing the SAS, uppercase and lowercase are equivalent, except inside the quote marks. Nothing but whenever you're writing the statement, if you write within the quotes, whatever case you are written, it will be considered the same. If you write the word within the quotes, quotation marks. Okay. So if you're writing the uppercase within the quotation, it will be uppercase, lowercase. So it will not change
Okay.
it. So they can begin and end with any column. So it means these statements can start with any column anywhere. So but end of the day you have to write a semicolon. So and a single statement can be line multiple lines. Suppose you are writing one statement that can be repeated 2 lines or 3 lines. But if you see the semicolon means that particular statement will end with that line. And again, a multiple and several statements can be written in the same line. So opposite also. You can write 5 lines in a one single statement, 5 statement in a single line. But the simple notes is whenever you are writing any word, it cannot be splitted multiple lines. You are writing some word, it should not be write like first 2 lines in the first word line, first 2 letters in the first line, second 2 letters in the second line. Not like that. Either you have to write the first line or you have to write the second line. It should not like split the word. But you can begin a statement on one line and continue with another line. That's what I'd say. So these are the statement rules. Majorly we'll use it in SAS. So here any questions, anything you want to know?
No.
Okay, we good? We can go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now how you're getting the data into the SAS? Because we use the data set and create the data, right? We extract it to create the data step. So data must be in the, whatever the, see, whenever you're using the SAS, whatever the data that you have in external or internal, but that should be in the form of SAS data set. If the data is not in the form of data set, you cannot do anything. So if maybe before the SAS, if data is in any format, but when it comes to the SAS, it should be in a SAS data set, then only you can do the process. To get the data set, we have 3 different ways. One is data entry. Nothing but you can enter the data within your own, within the program and create the data set. And external file. What is mean by external file? Means outside the SAS, if any file is there, then we call it as external file. That may be in the local system, not like any other ways. You are not connected to any server or anything, then it's called as a different. But when it comes, if the data is in within the laptop, within the PC and the different location, different outside the SAS, then we call it as external file. Next one is other software files. So now it says that other software files, nothing but Oracle is other different software. It's a database, right? Similarly, DB2 is other database, different file. So different databases, different software files. So whenever you are reading all of these 3 files, one individually or combination, whatever it may be, the conversation will be happened within the SAS in the back end. Between that particular connection data to the SAS, there is a conversion will be happen in the back end, right? Because if the data is in Oracle database, the data will be stored in that particular Oracle software format. But when in the SAS, it's a SAS format. But when you connect from SAS to Oracle, when the extracting data from Oracle to SAS, the conversation will be happen in the back end. Okay, so once the conversion happens, the data set will be created. Is this any
Okay.
questions here? The conversations will discuss more. I'll show you that how the backend will be stored in the information. I can show you that
Yeah.
how the system will be created in the backend, what exactly the functionality will be used in the particular slides. So once the data set is created, there are 2 different portions are there, right? So you have the data set. Once the data set, it has 2 different portions. One we called as a description, descriptor portion, or next is the data portion. So the meaning itself is there. Now you can see the meaning, right? Data portion, nothing but it's only data which deals with the data, nothing but whatever the values. Suppose name has values, different person names, those called as a data. So description nothing but whatever the name that you are using this particular data. Now we are using some name values, right? We are calling as a student name. That particular student name is called as a description. Because the name, the variable name that we call column name, it has what is the length, it's a type is there, different information is there. That is called as a description portion. So that description information will be we can see that here. I'll show that. See. So this is the data portion, variable values, data portion. So this is the data. Okay. Here you need to know one thing. Variables and observation. Whenever you say variable, it's nothing but columns. Whenever you say observation, nothing but rows. This is the terminology that we use in SAS. Observations and variables. Is okay?
Okay.
Either you can call as a row or column or table or variable or observation, doesn't matter. Nobody will argue that. Nobody will care. But you need to know that sometimes, because whenever you're executing the program, the information will be in a SAS format, SAS naming convention, SAS terminology. So you don't need to confuse it, because just now we saw that right in here. See, one observation, one row, one observation, one variable. You will be confused. What is means by observation? Means whenever you say observation means a row, variable means column. So this is a data portion. Now description portion will tell you that like how each description portion will like what is the variable name, what is the data set name, what is the data type, what is the length. All the information will be displayed here. So this we'll discuss in next tomorrow's class. So the description portion, because before that you just need to know one thing here. Okay. Now it's coming to the name convention of the particular file. Right? Suppose in Excel, whenever you are creating the Excel, you need to give some name to identify, to distinguish, to create a multiple Excel sheet. You need to give some name. By default, it will have some name, but if you want to change it, you can give your own name. But whenever you are giving the name, does it allow every characters in the keyboard?
Not the special characters.
Exactly. Similarly, in SAS also, SAS is not allowed every character to give its name. It by only there are alphabets, numbers, only one special character, that is underscore.
Underscore.
Only these are the three categories. Means 26 plus 10 plus 1. 38 characters only allowed. 37 characters. Okay. Again, whenever you are giving the name, the first point that you have to remember is you should not give the name with the first letter should be number. Means the first letter should not be number.
Okay.
Whenever you are giving the name, the first letter of the name should not be the number. Either alphabet, 26 characters, or underscore. But after the first letter, you can give any name. Either you can give underscore or a or alphabets or numbers. But the first letter should not contain number. Okay. And it SAS is not allowing any special characters except underscore. You have to remember that. Okay.
Yes.
And you cannot give more than 32 characters. The name of the file should not give more than 32 characters. You have to limit the name of the data set name. SAS program name you can give it, but I'm talking about the data set name and along with the variable names also. Nothing but a column names also. You cannot give more than 32 characters. Okay. First rule, a SAS variable name or data set name start with one character to 32 characters. There is no zero. Either start with the one letter to 32 characters. One character 32. Maximum 32 you can give it. And a variable name can be uppercase or lowercase, whatever it may be. It doesn't matter. Either you can give uppercase or lowercase. SAS system will take it, will create its normal name. And the name of the variable or dataset name, the first character should not be alphabet, should not be numeric. And the subsequent letter can then first letter should be alphabet or underscore. The subsequent letter can be number, alphabet, anything. Okay, and you cannot give the blanks but in Excel we can give the name, we can give the blanks within the file name. But when it comes to the SAS data set name or variable name, you should not give any blanks. If you give the blanks, it will be considered as a two separate words. If you give the one blank, two separate words, two separate data set, two separate variables, like that. Okay, any questions here?
No.
Okay,
No.
so these are some examples. Maybe you can just go through it, and if you can see, identify that which is correct, which is incorrect.
The third one is incorrect.
Second one is correct.
Yes. No.
No, second and the fourth.
No.
That's what. Second is incorrect. Third
Incorrect.
is incorrect.
Third is incorrect.
Yep. Next, fourth.
Yeah, not correct.
Yeah, incorrect. Fifth one is
Correct.
yeah. Sixth is also
Correct.
and seventh one incorrect.
Incorrect.
Because these are the main things, right? So initially, if you're not created the data set name, you can't do anything. To create the data set name, you need to know the naming convention of the data set. Okay. Yeah. So this is the data set name. Next one is variable names. So I'll stop here. We'll continue tomorrow. So daily we'll have around 1 hour, 1 hour, 15 minutes, like that. It's not like more than 2 hours. Okay. So
Okay.
No.
I'll stop here and we'll continue with the variable names tomorrow. What is the different type of variables? We can start with that and we'll continue with it. So we can see the back and how the data is processing in the back and all the details. Okay. So and I'll share this material and you will get this particular PDF file. So maybe already you have it, then it's fine. If not, I'll share that. And along with that, maybe after next 2 days, we'll take the classes, right? So then we'll share these 3 classes recordings in one day.
Oh.
Every day I'll record the sessions and we'll share this with you. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. I will meet tomorrow at the same time.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining today. Bye bye.